Awesome. Can't wait for the Super Mario Maker race, and here's to the hard level showcase. All right, and now it's time to throw it over the front to Eddaket for the new Super Mario Bros. 2 lens. Let's put our hands together and get excited for that.
All right. So before we start, I'm Eddaket.
LK47.
I'm Keyzeron.
Nerd Squared.
All right, and I think we'll just get started. So everyone ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go, Eddaket.
All right, so this is New Super Mario Bros. 2. This was last in a GDQ 2 years ago when everyone probably infamously remembers Eevee's battery died. So luckily, we're charging right now.
Got to get those marathon safety strats.
Exactly. Last time this was here, it was the any % category. This time we're doing warpless. Warpless is about twice as long and about twice as fun. We have quite a few skips that are going to be really exciting, so.
Not to mention, if you remember the any % run, you may remember a few auto-scrollers. Yeah, there aren't as many in this.
Exactly. All right, so right off the bat, we're going to go to everyone's favorite level in every Mario game, 1-1. And this is pretty standard hold right and jump simulator. So.
And in these first couple of worlds, you'll notice he'll go slightly out of his way to get these star coins. Since we're not doing a 100% run, you might be wondering why we're not bothering collecting those star bothering getting those star coins at all. And the reason he's getting these star coins is because in all of the new Super Mario Bros. Games there are these gates that require 5 star coins to unlock, and those gates lead to alternate pathways through the world map, which lead to faster levels.
Exactly. And the first star coin gate that we need to go through is right after level 1-4. And there are only about 3 star coins that are right in our way. So we do have to go out of our way for a couple of star coins.
And of course, it is planned which star coins he is going to be getting.
Yeah, there are a couple of different routes that you can do. Typically 1-1 and 1-2 are the same. 1-3 is where those 2 routes will differ. But we're going to be grabbing an extra star coin in 1-3, and then there's one that's in our way in 1 tower. That hit is fine. We do need to be Big Mario, but luckily we can just do that.
So at the end of the level, Eddaket's going to try to go for a really tricky wall jump. Very nice.
Oh, whoops.
Oh.
Yeah,
Watch the second one, but we're fine.
The wall jump mechanics in this are a little bit smoother than they are in New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. One thing that happens in that game is when you have those little ground things that you can jump through, like he was doing there with the wall jump. You can't really do that where those are, but it's a little bit easier to do smooth wall jumping in a lot of places in this game. So you'll see a fair amount of that over the course of the run.
And something that might not become immediately obvious is he's hitting the flagpole at the point that gives him 2,000 points. And the reason he's doing that is because Mario and the flag move at different speeds. And by hitting the point on the flag that gives you 2,000 points, it makes it so that Mario and the flag take the same amount of time to get to where they need to go.
He's also doing a cancel here every time he uses the raccoon tail power up to gain height, and that just allows him to keep his speed.
Yeah, the Raccoon Mario is probably the most useful power-up in the entire game for us, especially for this run. So you'll be seeing a lot of that. All right, so moving into 1 tower, we're going to grab ourselves a backup leaf. This game's a little different than the console New Super Mario Bros. Games in that they allow you to have sort of like a backup power-up that you can use at any point. And so by having a backup leaf, if I accidentally get hit, or there's a couple of places where we will intentionally take damage.
Yeah, basically, instead of having the Super Mario Bros. 3 type system that the console ones have, where you have items in a list but no backup within the level, they use the Super Mario World type system.
We have a pretty difficult boss here, courtesy of Super Mario World.
Hi, Reznor. Or half a Reznor.
By Reznor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Reznor fights in this game are not nearly as difficult as they are in Super Mario World, especially when you have the raccoon suit. They get progressively harder as you go through the levels, or through the worlds.
Yeah.
But they're never too difficult.
Yeah, there are gimmicks that are added, and of course, not all of them have only 2 Reznors there for you to kill. It is kind of interesting for some of the later ones. I kind of dug that in the game, the way it was designed.
Yeah, so in the any percent category, last level, we would have taken the secret exit, which would have brought us to the warp cannon. I guess I didn't actually explain what warpless is. So in this game, there are a few warp cannons that allow you to basically skip the rest of a world and move on to the next world. So for example, in any percent, you go all the way up to 1 tower, and then you warp to the mushroom world, warp to the flower world, and you warp to world 6. This category does not allow for us to use those warp cannons. So we're forced to essentially play the worlds as they were intended.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the cannons is they're actually their own level as opposed to just an animation where you're blasted off to the next world.
Yeah, it's kind of a semi-auto scroller in that you are moving at a fixed speed the whole time. It's kind of an interesting thing, an interesting take on it, where instead of the screen scroll speed of being locked, Mario's speed is locked. And you can get power-ups in them and do some other stuff. So there's a fair amount of variety that can come from the routing based on when you do those.
So right before this level, you probably noticed that I took that star coin gate. Conveniently, we had exactly 5 star coins for that gate. We do go through another one a little bit later in World 3, but we don't have to go out of our way for any of the star coins.
And of course, in each case, the whole purpose of doing that is to get either faster levels or a faster path through the overworld map.
Yeah, so this one we bought through the star coin gate to skip a water level. We will see our fair share of water levels in this run, but any chance we have to skip one, we definitely want to take. So here's the first castle. There is a slightly faster strategy that I'm not going to be going for that I am just really inconsistent at. But it involves basically never bonking, like I just bonked there, and doing some really precise jumps off of these ropes.
Yeah, you can gain slight speed boosts off the ropes if you jump onto and off of them in the proper way.
All right, and now we're on to the 1 castle boss. So the Koopalings are back. Here we have, I believe it's Roy Koopa.
And as with many of these fights in other new Super Mario Brothers games, you can predict where they're going to stop spinning and just be right above them as they stop.
Yep, and then we fly up to the key at the end of each castle because the key slowly descends. So grabbing at the very top is definitely worthwhile. So now we're on to World 2.
Yep.
Something I did want to mention is you'll notice on the bottom right of the top screen, his coin counter is at around 9 million, which is the maximum amount the coin counter can hold. One of the selling points of this game is you're encouraged to collect a lot of coins in every single level. And each time you complete a level, the amount of coins you got is added to that coin counter. But if it's already at the maximum amount, it can't add any more, so it skips that prompt.
It doesn't save a ton of time, but it adds up over the course of the run for sure.
Especially in a longer run like Warpless.
Yeah, and any percent it saves about 6 seconds. Since Warpless is, wow, what was that? Since Warpless is about twice as long, it saves about twice as much time.
And of course, it is especially advisable for 100%.
Exactly. So you didn't get to see it a whole lot in World 1. You saw it for a couple levels, but the raccoon suit really shines in World 2. A lot of the levels are just really really conducive for the ability to fly over things and fly upwards for things, including this level.
Yep. So in this beginning section, he's going to grab that star coin and build up P-speed on this platform, and then fly up. So here's the level, and there's the level.
Yeah, you're supposed to ride these elevators up, and it's really slow, and there's a bunch of hammer bros, and there's a boomerang bro, or whatever you want to call them. But luckily, we can just avoid all that. So there's a kind of a new strategy here in World 2-3, where we're going to try to grab a star from a roulette block. There's very little randomness in this game, so the roulette blocks actually aren't random. They're going to be at the same point every time I load them on screen. So we have to slightly delay to grab the star, so hopefully I'll get it.
Yeah, it's just about having consistent speed when you scroll them on screen, basically.
Nice.
Nice. So the reason he wants to get the star is not only does it make you invincible and you can just run right through the enemies, it also gives you a bit of a speed boost. And that speed boost is applied the entire time the star is active, whether or not you're on the air or on the ground. In the original, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, it was just on the ground for the original. You had to be on the ground for about a third of a second, I would say, roughly, in order for the speed boost to kick in.
All right, so moving on to 2 Tower. 2 Tower is a level where there's a whole lot of different kinds of cycles. So objects in this game can run on 2 different cycles. Some objects will run on a global timer, so basically once the level starts, they will start moving, even if they're well off screen. Certain items, or certain objects like burners or the ropes that were in one castle are like that. For some other ones, like fireballs and some of these blocks here, they're on sort of like a local timer, I'll call it, where they basically won't start moving until you've loaded them. So sometimes you can delay at the beginning of the level, like mess up at the beginning of the level, and everything will be completely different when you get to the end. And other times you can delay and everything will be the same as it always was.
And in the course of that level, he was, of course, doing a lot of jumps because you can only fly so far. And as well, you get a little bit of extra speed vertically from jumps when you're able to do them optimally coming out of a flight.
Exactly, yeah. A lot of this game and a lot of the level routing revolves around P-speed management. So when you're running on the ground, you gain your P-speed, much like Super Mario Bros. 3. And then you can, when you jump, the P-speed meter starts to deplete, and once it hits 0, you're no longer in that sort of P-speed motion. You're no longer able to keep your vertical momentum. But by touching down on the ground very slightly, we can replenish our P-speed meter and not have to worry about it. So here's our first auto-scroll in the game. I think this one's a really clever level design. Say hi to the Behemoth.
Creepiest enemy in any Mario game.
Looks like a friend to me, honestly.
Right?
I don't know. He looks kind of dopey, like, well, hi there.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. If you turn around, he stops. So that's why I think it's kind of a cool level design. He only progresses the level for you if you are facing the other direction. So in the speedrun, we obviously try not to turn around as much as possible.
Why are you running away, Mario? I just want to give you a big hug.
Well, if he wasn't so scared of me, maybe he could. All right, so we're going to take our... this level is a bunch of firsts for us. This is our first ghost house. We do 5 ghost houses in the run. It's our first secret exit, which I'm taking here, and it's also our first auto-scroller. It's also our first auto-scroller that we cannot skip. We can actually skip quite a few auto-scrollers in this run that you'll actually see in the next... not the next level, but the level after that.
Yeah, because there are auto-scrollers and then there are auto-scrollers. Some have camera lock, some try to gatekeep you through level mechanics. And when it's level mechanics, if you're creative and skilled, you can often find a way around that.
Exactly. Another thing I like to mention when I get to this level, so one of the good things about practicing for this game especially for a marathon, is you learn how to do a lot of the levels sort of the casual way, you know? What if I lose my leaf? How do I do this level? This level is actually a real pain to try and do the quote-unquote normal way. Those bob-bombs are really inconsistent. It's not really random, but like they go different heights depending on how high you're jumping, so that's a level that you really want to keep your leaf, as is this level. So there's 2 auto-scroller skips here. Both of them are kind of tight, so let's try and get them. Oh no. All right, what do I do here?
You play it like a casual.
Yeah, I think...
No!
Oh. That was unfortunate.
I would have made it too. That's awesome. I did not know if I landed there if I could make that. So I'll just do this the normal way. That's fine.
Yeah, unfortunately he dropped his speed. He did not get the proper timing for the attack to keep his speed. And as a result, he wouldn't have been able to make it all the way to the pipe, which was his goal.
Yeah, you're supposed to replenish your P speed on the top of that bottom, or the top of the lower pillar there. Whoa. Hey. So the gimmick with this thing is it only moves if you're standing on it, and they have a lot of these little rotating platform things that are meant to keep you out of the way. How am I going to do this? I'm just going to get myself hit. That works. Conveniently, at the end of every castle, there's a leaf right behind the door, so if anything goes wrong, we can usually save it like that.
What a relief.
Wow.
I'll see myself out.
Wow. Wow.
All right, so this is Iggy Koopa. Pretty straightforward fight. Ideally, when he comes out of the next, for the next hit, he comes out of the middle slot. If he comes out of the middle one, oh, he did, cool. He's gonna always turn to the right, so we can just stand right here and jump on him. It's really convenient. And grab our coin when it's off screen. All right, so we're moving into World 3. World 3's theme is water levels, so there's gonna be plenty of time for donations during that. But the first world, or the first level in the world has kind of a cool strategy. We're gonna get to see some pretty cool star movement again. Bless you.
What a kind and thoughtful runner.
Shoutouts to the guy clapping for kindness. All right, so right at the beginning of the level, there is a hidden star block. Whoops, it'd be cool if I hit it. And I missed that star during practice yesterday, so I'm really glad I didn't. All right. This block here only has a star if you hit it while you have a star, so I almost really messed that up.
Yeah, that was by a matter of frames there.
Yeah. All right.
Is the game rewarding you for kindness?
Right?
I guess. Got to build up that karma.
All right, so this next level isn't quite an auto-scroller, but it is a pretty silly water level. So we're going to buy through the next star coin gate. And it's the last star coin gate that we need in the run. This time we trade 2 levels if you take the upper path for 1 level if you take the lower one. The lower one is a water level, but not much you can do. 2 is worse than 1. So now's probably a good time for a couple donations.
All right, well, I've got a $1,000
Wow.
anonymous donation here. And this anonymous donor said, "My first time watching a GDQ event, and I am amazed. GG to everyone involved." And we've got another very generous $500 anonymous donation. "This is my first time watching GDQ or speedrunning in general. I'm really impressed with the runners and the whole production. Keep up the great work." And a $50 donation from Red Mage 3555. 2 million, let's go! Frizzy61 donated $75. Can't watch all day because of work, but I still gotta get my donation in. Donation goes to FF6 100% because if the runs go long enough, I'll be able to watch the finale live.
All right, so moving on to the next level. It's going to be another auto-scroller, but I will want to explain a couple of things first. The first thing is that if you probably noticed at the beginning of every level, there's like this little coin block thing that's flying around. We're not actually going to grab that in this next level. We're going to grab a different one, but it has the same properties. Basically, what that does is it gives you coins as you jump and move around the level. But the more important thing for speedrunning is that it will shield us from an extra hit, so I grab it more for safety. The other thing I want to mention here is this is a vertical auto-scroller, and it's a water level, so I aptly named it a water scroller. This vertical auto-scrollers have a little bit of a unique property. Horizontal ones, you're basically camera locked. You cannot move outside the bounds of the camera. For vertical auto-scrollers, you actually can. You can move a little bit above and a little bit below the camera, so at the very, very end of this section, we'll be trying to go into a pipe that's off screen. There's a pretty easy setup for it, but I just wanted to explain that so Proto can get some more donations in.
All right, well, here's a $25 donation from 4Bear. Let's get hype for the volunteers and runners who take time out of their lives for this great life-saving cause and all the donors who make me proud to be a part of this community. Let's go, yellow credits. And Niska donated $50. Thanks everyone for taking time out of your lives to make this happen.
Shoutouts to this room.
Wow.
They want you to grab that, the red ring, but no.
I've also got $25 from SheepJ. SheepJE? Good luck with the run, Edda. So good to see you on the GDQ stage again. An all Mega Stones run next?
God, no. Nobody wants that.
But it's your favorite. 2 hours of contests.
All right. So as you can see, we went into the pipe that's off screen. Also, thank you, Sheep. I forgot to say that. And this Reznor fight's basically the same as the last one. The next one that we do will be a bit different. We're actually going to be skipping the towers in World 4 and World 5. So we're not going to get to see those towers, but we do have to do 6 towers, so, or Fortress, depending on your how you feel about the games.
I wonder what the logic was giving Reznor all the like Godzilla cries. Because it's supposed to be like a rhino, right?
Yeah.
A rhino dino.
A rhino dino.
A rhino dino.
All right, so as I think it was Nerd mentioned earlier, I have the maximum coin counter. This is the level that we actually grind coins in. If you are interested in trying to max out your coins, you can do this in Coin Rush. Get about 30,000 coins every 3 minutes, and if you want to do the math, you get 10 million coins after about like 15 to 20 hours of grinding. So if you really want to run this game and you really want to save those 6 seconds, definitely get good at this level.
I'll stick to the first game.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Though this is a good game.
Yeah, one of the neat things about the speedrun is there aren't a whole lot of glitches. Actually, there's basically no glitches in this run. So it's really, you know, how fast can you play a Mario game? And the answer is some people can play it really fast. I am one of those people that can play it moderately fast. All right, so kind of a cool strat at the beginning of this level. The Ghost House likes to move our blocks on us. So we do that for a little speed boost. This jump here is kind of tight. Let's see. All right. You have just enough space to gain P speed there. before the end of the platform. And if you don't gain P-Speed and you make that jump, you just fall in the endless abyss.
I gotta say, I do like a lot of the design in the ghost houses in this game. They really decided to put in some effort to make them unique and different. A bit gimmicky maybe for some of them, but by and large it's really interesting.
Just in general, I'm a really big fan of ghost levels. I know there's some people that aren't a huge fan, but I think they're really well done for the most part, no matter what the game is.
But they're spoopy.
They are. So one of the things I actually noticed when I was preparing commentary for this run, so we do, like I mentioned earlier, 5 of the ghost house, and actually all 5 of the ghost house we take the secret exit in. We never do the ghost house to completion. So this one we skip 1 level and go straight to the castle. Makes the secret exit really worth it. There is another category in this game called no secret exits, which, as the name implies, does not allow you to take a secret exit. It's only about 10 minutes longer, but it gets you to see a lot more of the levels, and there's a lot more like auto-scroller skips and some cool tricks and like that.
You also have to get 5 more star coins in that category as opposed to the 10 in this.
Yeah. All right, so we gained our P-Speed there so we can fly over that section. It's kind of awkward because you have to flutter off of one of those platforms, and in order to flutter, you have to press the jump button right after you fall off a platform. So if you do it just a little bit too early, you end up jumping. If you do it a little bit too late, you don't have the height to reach the next platform. So here's, I believe it's Wendy Koopa. She and the 5th world boss have some really awkward timing for when they can be hit. And so in order to avoid getting hit, I sort of let her jump into me.
All the bonking you were doing before that, I thought it was 2 games, 1 controller again.
Shoutouts to Pokemon. All right. So now we're on to World 4. World 4's theme is snow and ice levels, so everyone's favorite. Luckily, we only do a handful of levels. Worlds 4 and 5 actually are kind of unique in this run in that they have some really convenient paths through the world that only allow us to only do like 4 levels in each. 4 levels including the castle. All right, so 4-1 introduces a new enemy to us. Hopefully it doesn't mess us up too much.
Yeah, the mini Goombas will kind of latch onto you and slow you down, prevent you from jumping if you, and eventually hurt you if too many of them are on you for too long.
Okay, but like, oh my gosh, they're adorable. They're so tiny.
I can barely see them.
Yeah, luckily, because we have Raccoon Suit Mario, you can tailspin to get them to fly off of you, but yeah, we didn't have to worry about it. Something else I'll point out, because chat is probably mad at me, this is not Tanuki Suit Mario. This is actually different than Tanuki Suit. If you look online, and online never lies, you can see that it's Raccoon Suit, not Tanuki.
Besides, he can't turn into a statue, and Tanuki can.
Exactly. Can do some cool flips, though. All right, so this is another auto-scroller, so if you want to do another couple donations, that would be awesome.
All right, well, I've got $150 from Mr. Dr. Thrash. Who needs sleep when you can 100% Final Fantasy VI? And an $85 anonymous donation. I have extremely fond memories of staying up way past my bedtime as a kid playing Final Fantasy VI with my mother, so more FF6 is always welcome.
What a cool mom.
Right?
Strongly agree.
Mine would just try to like play the motorcycle levels in Crash Warped, and she'd turn the controller.
Mine actually got somewhat decent at a few games like Sonic, Mario, SimCity.
Shoutouts to moms. Thanks,
Yeah, right.
moms.
Yeah, let's get a round of applause for
There you
moms.
go. Let's go, moms.
Hi, Mom. All right, so now we're moving on to 4B. 4B is the ice level of the run. And it's got some really cool movement, so hopefully I can get it. One might say it looks really slick when you get it,
One could also not say that, just saying.
right?
Like, one could in theory say anything but that.
I'm a proto on this one. Boo etiquette.
Well, all right, so
Boo this man.
the only
Okay,
reason,
hold up, freeze, everybody, freeze.
the only reason I said it is because I accidentally made that joke when I was practicing by myself, and I was like, that's amazing.
You new
did you-
Super
did you
Mario
high
Bros.
five
Kids
yourself?
over there are on thin ice, okay?
Boo!
Come on, Keys, you just gotta chill.
I am rather cold right now, to be honest.
Oh, we're so deep into this. I guess there's just no turning back on these puns.
No.
huh?
What did I do? What did I do?
What have you caught? You're banned from Pokemon. Just remember that.
All right, so we're gonna take this totally not a warp pipe to the castle. It's not a warp cannon. It's allowed. This castle, we're gonna try to do the same thing we did in 2-3 and grab a star from a roulette block. It's sort of the same timing. You sort of have to delay a little bit once you get the roulette block on screen. And we didn't do it. Awesome, go us.
Let's
Yeah.
go, team.
This is one of those that's really weird to do the normal way. Because, like Alec mentioned earlier, the star does increase your speed quite a bit, so there are some jumps that you just straight up don't make if you don't have the star. But luckily we made it through that without getting hit, except for that. That's intentional.
Yeah, you notice that there were there was no easy way to get through there without getting hit, without losing a fair bit of time. So you just grab that extra leaf instead because it's faster overall.
Yeah, if you're not doing a marathon, you actually would not grab that leaf, you'd grab one later on, but I like to play it safe. So this is probably the second easiest of the castle bosses. This one is Morton. You can see why it's easy,
It's like gift wrapped.
right?
It's right there.
The hardest part is timing this jump here. Nice.
But once you get that timing, it's like, oh, hi, I'll
Yeah.
just kick you in the face now.
All right. So we're moving into World 5. World 5 is a collection of 4 levels that are absolutely, unequivocally my least favorite levels in this entire run. Each one has at least one really stupid attribute to it. Stupid for speedrunning. They're actually pretty good level designs. Sorry, Nintendo. But yeah, so
Yeah, this is the analog to World 7 in New Super Mario Bros., and that is the most difficult world in that game as well.
yeah, so we're going to take the secret exit in actually all 3 worlds leading up to the castle. This secret exit is really hard to do, for me anyways. Juice can probably do it really well. But for me, it is really difficult to do the quote-unquote normal way. So I end up doing a slightly slower strat that is usually really consistent and only wastes about 4 or 5 seconds.
So, etiquette, you're going to go for fireworks here.
Oh yeah, I can do fireworks. I forgot about that.
But yeah, Juice is one of the top runners of this game. I'm sure he's watching this run, chilling with other people in the New Super Mario Bros. Discord.
Yeah.
Shout outs to 4th of July next month.
I brought these for a reason.
Oh, say, can you see?
Yeah, so fireworks in this game are a little bit more difficult to get in other Mario games. Fireworks in this game require you to not only have the last 2 digits on the timer at the end match, but they also have to match the world number that you're in. So if you noticed, I had 55. All right. If I was in like World 2, I would need 22, and most of the levels you end around the 60 mark, so. Oh my goodness. Where's the block? Actually, you know what? Nope.
You could have.
I could have made
Until
it.
then.
All right, that's fine. I accidentally missed one of the platforms, so we'll just do this again. That's actually not even the hard part of the level.
The block is kind of down in the middle, as I recall. It's weird. I know it's a weird position.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, cool. You know what? Hate this game.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
really
grab
annoying.
that coin block.
All right, I'll get my P speed back one of these days. All right, now let's do this part. Luckily, the backup leaf that you're supposed to grab in the normal route is in this one. Yeah, so I was supposed to do it like that.
Let's go, etiquette.
First try.
Level's
First
not
try
over.
every time.
Level's not over.
Let's go, etiquette.
I hate 5 Ghost House. Let it be known. All right. Get out of here, Golbat. Oh, I have a backup leaf. What am I doing? I don't care. Stupid Crobat.
It's evolving.
Okay, so this room. Level's not over yet. Deja vu. All right. You know what? Oh my goodness. All right. Everyone, calm down. I don't know why everybody is so worked up about this.
Just got to get into the swing of things.
No.
my.
No. Why did you let him on here?
All right, if I wasn't atrocious at video games, we could have gotten fireworks again, but sorry. All right, so if you guys thought that level was hard, this level is even harder. This one is, yeah, you can easily lose like 2.5 minutes on this level, so hopefully I don't.
No joke.
I believe in you.
I don't. All right. All right, so now we have about a 2.5 minute autoscroller where I'm just going to stand here if you want to do some donations.
All right. We got $25 here from Kevlar12. 1.3 million? That's hype, but how about we go for that 1.57 million goal? Just $2 from everyone in chat gets us real close. Thanks to GDQ, the runners, the staff, volunteers, and MSF for being amazing people. Also, proto puns are best puns. I'm glad the people know who to side with. Got $80 from Iggy Zig. Knowing that Snowy will run Undertale and get yellow credits, it fills you with determination.
This level's stupid.
And Slavic donated $50. All yellow credits means that you get to make everyone your friend. Who doesn't want that?
Like, what is the purpose of this?
You're supposed to get a ton of coins. You can actually, so those little gold rings at the top of the screen, if you get those, it turns every enemy into like a golden enemy. And instead of getting points when you defeat them, you get coins. So this is like basically this game's dream level for grabbing coins. For a speedrun, we just have to stand in one spot while 160 in-game seconds tick off the clock.
That's really fun.
Yeah. There. So, I shouldn't say this yet, but I'm going to. There's a reason I grabbed the checkpoint in the middle. So at the very end of this level, we have to grab the secret exit. And in order to do that, we have to get our P-speed on the boat and hit a block that makes a vine go to the top of the screen. And you can get yourself crushed between the boat and the block. Right there. So luckily I didn't get crushed, but yeah. I have, on pretty good PB pace, I have absolutely got myself crushed there and lost literally 2.5 minutes. So yeah. All right.
What a solid game.
So now we're going to 5 Castle. Do I have a backup leaf? I do have a backup leaf. All right, so I told everybody in the NSMB community I would go for full 5 Castle skip. There are 3 auto-scroller skips here. The first 2 are fairly standard. The last one is really difficult, and I'm not at all consistent at it, but if I get it, it'll be really hype, so hopefully I get it.
I'll buy you lunch if you get it.
Nice. All right, so that's the first one. Second one. No!
Oh!
Yeah, so you can, it's not damage boosting, but you can like tail spin boost through that big bone piranha plant.
My wallet thanks you.
So we can just do it normally. There's a really consistent strat that I'll just do now. I promised everyone I would go for it once. So yeah, you basically skip half of the auto-scroller instead of the rest of it. Then I'll grab Leaf. And then we're on to the 5 Castle boss. So 5 Castle boss is Ludwig von Koopa. And kind of like I mentioned in World 3 with Wendio, the timing for when you can hit him is really awkward. It's even worse than the World 3 one, so it's very easy to accidentally get ourselves hit.
It looks like if I had a bad hair day, to be honest.
So right now, or?
Yeah.
All right. All right, one more hit. Nice. All right, so we're on to World 6. If you've ever seen an any % run, World 6 is almost identical. There is a fairly new power-up route that involves grabbing a gold flower in one of the cannons in any %, and then foregoing both the damage boosts in this world and doing like a really sweet burner clip on the final level. And then you use the gold flower to kill Bowser, and then that whole sequence is faster. We're not doing any of that because this is Warpless, and Warpless doesn't have easy access to a gold flower, but yeah. So 6-1. 6-1 has another suggested auto-scroller that we skip at the very end of the level.
And this is nowhere near as bad as the level with falling lava rocks in New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, the falling lava rocks in this game are completely fixed. Like, if you do the same thing every time, the rocks will always be in the same spot, and you can never get hit. In the first New Super Mario Brothers game,
They're random.
they are random.
So yeah, that really helps with that level.
All right, so 6 Ghost House. This one's probably my favorite of the Ghost House. We'll do a damage boost at the end like we did in 5 Ghost House to take the secret exit.
It actually took me a while to find the secret exit in casual play.
I thought you were about to say secret agent at first.
I almost said that. I'm tired.
We hear that attend GDQ do not believe in proper sleep.
It's for the weak.
By which you mean for the week, W-E-E-K, because all week long you're getting good sleep.
That one was unintended.
For once.
That one was unintended.
You guys are all banned from the couch.
Aw.
All right, 5 more levels, I believe it is.
This way.
This way. All right, so moving into 6A. 6A is it's a pretty fun level to learn. It's a pretty fun level to actually do runs of. I mentioned earlier that some of the levels are a lot harder to do casually once you've been speedrunning in them. This is one of them as well. The way that this level works is as soon as you go in the pipe, there's lava that starts to rise. And so it's supposed to be pretty difficult to make it all the way up here, but I mean... And there's kind of a cool jump here. I hope I get it, because that would be really embarrassing if I don't. All right, cool.
I would have made you buy me lunch instead.
Mario number 1.
All right, moving into 6th Tower. 6th Tower has a really cool auto-scroller skip, and it's one of the more difficult ones, especially to learn. Once you've learned it, it's still difficult, but it's not as hard as some of the other ones.
Yeah, the tricky part here is the flames, but again, if you keep the same path throughout the stage, then you will be able to have them spawning in a consistent position.
Yeah, so the game wants us to ride these things to the top, but like I said before, that's just a suggestion. Nice, we did it.
Let's clap for that.
Nice.
Yeah, those one-tile blocks to regain your P speed
There's
can
so
be
many.
really difficult to. Wow. You know what? Whatever. That's the last of Reznor.
Bye, Godzilla.
All right. The next level is your pretty standard fly over the level simulator. So if you want to do a couple more donations, now would be a great time.
All right, well, I've got $5 from Permafrost. Yellow credits or bust. And a $250 donation without comment from Grimstein. Thank you very much. Here's $150 from Courtney Rail. Having to get all yellow credits means more Undertale, which means more GDQ, which is the one thing we aren't trying to speedrun. Come on, fellow game lovers, donate for incentives to extend GDQ. Stay determined.
Okay, bouncing off the crow there at the end.
Nice time loss.
Yeah, it's a little bit slower to get the one up. There's a jingle and all that. I also believe that's a rare level in Mario where you actually have to go back to get one of the star coins.
Yep. So I think we mentioned a lot earlier in the run about triple jumps. Triple jumps allow you to jump a little bit higher than a normal jump. That's how we are hitting like the 2,000 point mark in a lot of levels.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine. So this level has a lot of really conveniently timed triple jumps to make it over a lot of these fireballs like this one right here. If you don't triple jump at the right time, then you can't do the path that I just did through the level.
Mario number 1.
All right, so now we're on to the final level, guys.
Nice.
Yeah. Woo! All right, so Bowser's Castle has basically everything that we've seen throughout the run. It has auto-scroller skips. It has an actual auto-scroller that we can't skip. It has damage boosting. It has triple jumps. It has probably me messing up, like we've seen a lot.
Nice.
So if you couldn't guess, that damage boost was intentional.
So normally you're obviously intended to take that block snake up here, but get P-speed at the start and you can just fly. Now this is where things get interesting. You can see all the Koopalings in that clown car from Super Mario World in the background. If you are not behind something, like one of those walls, when that flash happens, you get turned to stone, and it's very easy to have that happen at a bad time and just end up dropping into the lava.
Yeah, if you notice, pretty much everything that's outside of the walls is either a conveyor belt or one of those blocks that will fall if you stand on it too long. So getting petrified outside basically means you die. All right, so now here's Bowser. These fireballs are not random, so you can do the same thing every time. I do want to mention, time does not end when I hit the switch or whatever it is. This is a pretty tight jump, which is why I grabbed the extra leaf. Neat.
That was actually fairly close.
Yeah.
Still made it over.
Bowser can do a couple different things there. He can either throw hammers, he can prepare to jump, he can do absolutely nothing, or he can blow fireballs. If he does anything except for throw hammers, I usually make it over. Because he threw hammers, I did not make it over. So, and then there's one more section to this game. We're into the final phase of the final boss. So the reason I grabbed the extra backup leaf, we need to keep our P speed throughout this entire like 2.5 minute auto-scroller. If you've seen other new Super Mario Bros. Games other than the original, you'll probably recognize a section similar to this at the very end of the game. In this one, it's a vertical auto-scroller where there's a bunch of elevators that will start to fall once you stand on them. You need to ride that up, and there's 3 different phases, and then there's a giant switch at the end. Time ends when I hit the giant switch at the end of the run, or at the end of this auto-scroller section.
And he is going to be, in a few places, getting up to the next section as quickly as possible. That's one of the big reasons he wants P-speed throughout this entire section, because that allows him to fly up there and save a little bit of time, because the screen will then scroll fast to catch up with him.
Yeah. And getting the P-speed like it did at the beginning of that fight is really tight, because if you run for too long, you get hit by the lava.
If you don't run long enough, you don't get your B-speed. So.
Yeah.
So you notice there, I just got up in 4 swipes, or 4 swipes of Bowser. Normally, if you're doing this without P-speed, you can get up there in 5 swipes, which is why P-speed is really useful. This section here is identical to the last one, except now there's a fireball that's coming in to try and kill me. However, for some reason, you actually cannot skip that 5th swipe. He always does it, even though I'm doing the exact same thing I did last time. We don't know why you can't skip it. It's just not possible. All right, so we're moving on to the final phase. Like I said, time stops when I hit the giant switch at the end.
So in this phase of the fight, he's going to try to fly up when Bowser does his 3rd swipe in order to get to the big switch.
Yeah, I'm going to do it a little bit later, just for safety. Time. How'd I do?
5303.
Not bad, not bad. So that is probably a 52-13 with our normal timing. We don't, for our categories, we don't include the intro sequence, but I figured for the marathon I may as well. So yeah, that's New Super Mario Bros. 2 Warpless.
One other thing I did want to mention is the New Super Mario Bros. Community is doing a relay race of the Warpless categories of all the games in the series, and that'll be happening on July 14th, I think.
Yep. And you'll get to see, well, 3 of us, not Keys.
Hey.
he plays Pokemon.
Pokemon plays me.
True.
Point.
Yeah, so before I sign off, I just want to quickly give a shout out. Thanks GDQ for having me and having this game again. It's been a lot of fun. Shout outs to the whole new Super Mario Brothers community. And shout outs to my girlfriend, Jess. I love you. So.
Aww. Let's go, Jess.
So yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
Thank you very much, Eddaket, for that awesome new Super Mario Bros. 2 run. Hello, Summer Games Done Quick 2018. My name's Proto Magical Girl. My shift is almost done here, but before I head out and pass off the mic to Sakura Tsubasa, I'm going to read a couple more of your donations. Thank you so much, Tyro Land, for your $1,000 donation. Love GDQ and love FF6, so making it 100% is a must. Thank you to the community and to all those behind the scenes that makes this possible. Thank you, JD34, for your $250 donation. Loving the stream. Let's get the yellow credits in Undertale. Kit Sovereign donated $25, donating for Undertale yellow credits. All yellow credits means being kind to every enemy. Without it, some characters will be completely skipped. Let's meet this goal and spread the love to everyone. All right, now I'm going to throw over to a quick break for a word from some of our sponsors. Summer Games Done Quick 2018 is sponsored by ViewSonic. ViewSonic is the leading global provider of visual solution products. They're monitor experts with 30 years of experience. ViewSonic gaming monitors. We game with you. To find out more about ViewSonic and their line of products, you can go to www.viewsonic.com/gaming. Summer Games Done Quick 2018 is also sponsored by Wave Dash Games. Icon's Combat Arena, Wave Dash Games' new game, is a new era of platform fighters. It is free to play and on PC, and you can join the open beta weekend right now. To get your Steam key, you can go to beta.icons.gg. Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2018. My name's Proto Magical Girl, and unfortunately, my shift has come to an end, and this is actually going to be the last time I will be on this mic for this GDQ. So real quick, I want to give a shout out to my donation readers behind me. They don't get all the glory. We hosts get to sit up here and talk on the mic, our names on the stream and everything. But them back there, they work really hard, and I really appreciate them. I also want to give a shout out to the interview production team, the people behind our cameras when we're doing interviews. They've done an incredible job this year. And finally, I want to give a shout out to the tech and all of the staff who've worked so hard to bring this event for you. So let's keep pushing for that $2 million. And with that, my name's Proto Magical Girl. I'm signing off for the event, and I'm going to be passing the mic off to Sakura Tsubasa.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2018, powered by Twitch. My name is Sakura Subasa, and I'll be your host for the next couple of hours. We have coming up our Undertale run here, run by Snowy Y101, and for that actual run, we have an incentive here, all yellow credits, which is currently sitting at $14,165 out of $25,000, and we'll need to get that incentive met before the run begins or before the first cutscene ends. So if you want to see all yellow credits, you're going to want to get those donations in before this run. But before the run starts, we actually have an interview here. So we will be passing it off to Spike Vegeta and Runner Guy 2489.
And welcome everyone back to the sadly final day, unless we get way behind schedule, final day of Summer Games Done Quick 2018. I am Spike Vegeta, and we are here on an absolutely packed final day. And one of the games that are definitely making it so hype is going to be The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Bingo, run by my man here, Runner Guy. How you doing, dude?
Pretty good.
Awesome to hear, man. I gotta say, I'm so happy that finally, I mean, you guys have been trying to get this in for years now, and you guys have been racing bingo for years. And there were a lot of people kind of saying because it is such a traditional race, category style way to play the game, that they would have liked to have seen this as a race. We're seeing you here doing it as a solo run. What do you think are actually the merits to you getting to showcase it like this?
Yeah, I know there was a lot of people that talk about doing it as a race. I kind of have pitched this as an idea where there'd be like a tournament throughout the week and there'd be the final two on like the last
I already
day.
like that idea. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
But doing it as a single player is a little bit better for maybe an audience like this where people are often in a race wanting to know who's winning. In a lot of games you can kind of tell. In bingo you might not even know till the final 10 seconds who's actually ahead. So when it's just one person up there, you can kind of follow exactly what they're doing, their route. The routes can be so vastly different in even two people doing the same row. So for me to be up there being able to kind of explain, hey, I'm doing this to set up this later, it kind of makes the route flow a little better. Plus, when it's just me up there, I plan to go over a lot of different history aspects of how we got to where we are in bingo. It's like bingo version 9.3 now. So it's gone through a lot of iterations over the years. Wow. Being able to talk about how we got to where we are today, I don't know that you could necessarily do that in a race setting.
No, for sure. Yeah, I think you kind of have to just focus on the aspect of who's ahead, who's making what route choices. Have you pretty much been around since the conception of Ocarina of Time Bingo?
Yeah, I've been around. I mean, even before bingo, we were kind of doing other races. I was around before we were even racing the game. It wasn't really many people doing races back in 2007, 2008, 2009. Wow. So to kind of go through that process of kind of what's good to race, and it just kind of naturally kind of came to bingo.
Sure. It's been a joy to watch you guys over time, and you guys, it seems like you do this, you still have kept up a weekly for, seems like we're coming up on almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell a little story. I was at this past AGDQ, and we were downstairs doing like a Picross tournament or something. I went through a Picross phase. Fun game. But we hear a bunch of people just screaming in the room next door, and I come over, and there's over 100 of you in there, and it's probably what ends up being a small percentage of the Ocarina of Time speedrunning community and bingo community, and you guys were playing Ocarina of Time charades, and you guys looked like you were having an absolute blast. I just want to ask you, like, for people out there always thinking like, oh, maybe, obviously Ocarina of Time, a very beloved game, maybe something they want to get into the community for. How would you describe your community to them?
I mean, the community is very welcoming. Bingo, I'm not gonna lie, it is challenging to get into. It's not something that you can pick up. It requires a lot of knowledge. It requires a lot of, technical ability. There's all kinds of different tricks and setups in Ocarina of Time, but it seems like, especially the bingo community in general, everyone's really chill, and it is a race format a lot. People do want to win the races, but it seems like everyone's always happy if someone else is getting a good time. And
right.
I think that's definitely one of the better aspects of the community. Everyone's willing to help everyone else and kind of pick everyone up together.
Yeah, you guys definitely sold me on it at that event. And just seeing how you guys have actually kept it, because people, I feel like we say in speedrunning all the time, oh, let's do a weekly. And 3 weeks later, you're already done with the weekly. You've already kind of moved on. It feels like you guys have genuinely kept it up for many, many years now.
Yeah.
Lots of people join it. Cool to see.
Yeah, I think Saturday Night Bingo was probably one of the first weeklies, and it's been ongoing for years. It goes through ups and downs where more people get interested. It kind of has phases where less people are doing it, but I mean, it's been solid for a long time.
Sure. There's, so I know over the years I've seen you mostly dedicate your speedrunning life, you know, that side of yourself, to Ocarina of Time. And now that I've even been messing around with even like a little bit, and we'll get into this later, a little bit of item randomizer, getting to just play the game more and more. Is there a part of you that thought at some point you would have moved on to another game, but instead Ocarina of Time is just this absolutely bottomless well, and I don't mean that as a pun for the game, of strategies and optimizations? Feels like you can never get good enough at that game. There's always more knowledge to be had.
Right. I've toyed around with ideas, like I've thought it would be fun to play certain other games at times, and it just seems like my OOT list gets larger and larger, so I never end up being able to get away from it. So yeah, there's definitely things that I still want to do. There's always new puzzles and things that are being created. It just seems like different bingo variants, like you said, the item randomizer, it just seems like it's endless what you could do with this game.
Right. We're kind of going off of that a little bit. We've had the joy, you know, I first got to know you as Ocarina of Time, kind of like the first real big 100% runner of this game, at least in a single segment back in the day. We've seen ZFG obviously push it very recently to, I believe, a 405. That's ridiculous, thinking this game is that close to sub 4 in 100%. Do you see yourself realistically at some point trying to come back? Whether you want to compete necessarily as ZOG or not, just doing more of those yourself.
It would be nice to find the time, I think, at some point to pick up the 100% again. It's changed so much since years that I've done it. So I think when I was doing it, it was still like near 6 hours for the record. So there's been a lot of cool things that have been done with that run in particular that I think it would be fun. If I can find the time to kind of pick it up again, it would be, that might be down the line. But.
Sure. Now let's bring it back a little bit. Again, we're going to be doing bingo for you guys. Also, I just want to point out for anyone who has not maybe doesn't know what the bingo is. Again, runner guy later today is going to have a 5x5 grid of goals in Ocarina of Time, and his goal is going to be try to completing one of the diagonals, columns, or rows for you guys. He has never seen that before, and it could have anything from, you know, kill 30 Skulltulas, defeat Morpha, find 7 compasses, and we're going to have to see you route that on the fly. Should be fun to see. Now, what I want to ask you is, not necessarily because I know you're going to get into the history of Ocarina of Time, bingo, speedrunning, but what do you think, because people have been trying to make bingos for all sorts of games over the years, all sorts of bingos. SM64, we just did it for Super Mario Odyssey, Pokemon's done it. What do you think are the biggest qualities that people should look for in a speed game that makes a great bingo speed game?
I think there's probably 2 main attributes that would make a good bingo speed game. One is an open-ended game. That doesn't have to be a naturally open-ended game. Ocarina of Time, you know, is fairly linear in casual playthrough, but because of all the tricks and glitches, it essentially becomes, you know, you could do, there's actually a category, reverse dungeon order, where you do Spear Temple all the way back to Decatry, just to give you an idea. So any game like that where you can kind of go anywhere in any order, that's kind of number 1, I think, for having a good speed game. Otherwise, or a good bingo game. Otherwise, it's kind of like every run is going to start and do these certain linear aspects, whereas bingo, it's more about the freedom of being able to select anything that you want. I think the second thing is having a game that has a lot of objectives or collectibles. I know like Donkey Kong 64 has a lot of different collectibles.
Yes, it does.
That can be a good type of speed bingo game, because the more squares you have to kind of pull from, the more variety that you get over time. So I'd say those are the 2. If you were trying to make a bingo for your community, your speed community, I think those are the 2 most important things.
Now, we've seen you get to be a part of, GDQs over the years, we've shown people all these games, in kind of almost their standard speedrun formats. We've shown them 80% runs, shown 100% runs, and kind of finding new, fresh ways to show it to them. We've done stuff like Link to the Past got to show Randomizer. You're getting to show Bingo this time. You've also been a part of, you somehow beat all the child dungeons blindfolded a couple of years ago. Still one of my favorite GDQ runs we've ever had. We've seen a lot of different sorts of challenge runs here. You can either keep it within Bingo, Ocarina of Time, you can expand it to other games. What would you like to see as a cool challenge run of sorts to have at a future GDQ?
I definitely think, seeing all these standard runs, it would be nice to almost get like a little block of something at GDQs where there's these different challenge runs, I'm always into those types of things. For me personally, I think one of the things in Ocarina of Time would be a beta quest lockout.
Yes,
now, I know the item randomizer has been very popular. There's also a randomizer with loading zones in Ocarina of Time, where you can leave, Link's house and it takes you to Zelda, or it takes you to Spear Temple. It could just be anywhere. And a lockout is kind of a bingo version where the first person to get a square in a race claims that square, and then you're basically trying to claim as many things as you can before the opponent does. I think something like that at a GDQ where the audience can see what the player, but the players don't know what the other player's doing, that can lead to some really intense moments where they're both kind of fighting for the same thing at the same time, but they don't even know it. So
I know I'm supposed to be the interviewer and just allow you to answer the questions, but I love that answer of lockout because an inherent, I guess you could say, problem in speedrun as a competitive event is you cannot play defense. Lockout is a form of speedrunning where you can play defense, where all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, okay, I think I think Runner Guy's gonna take this route, so I'm not even gonna bother with that. I'm gonna come this side and try to complete these goals instead. I absolutely think whether it's Ocarina of Time or a different game, that should be shown at some point.
And sometimes it's not necessarily you playing the board, but you knowing your opponent, what they're likely to do. And there's even a little bit of defense. You can get a square, but not click it and claim it. So it's like you kind of have that in reserve. Like, I think my opponent won't do that. So there's a lot of little mind game type things. It would be really fun, I think.
Okay, I'm glad we are in agreement with that. We have a couple social media questions I want to get into, but I do want to ask you one thing because I brought it up earlier.
Okay.
Ocarina of Time item randomizer. There's been a group of us who have been a little addicted to it. It's a ton of fun.
A couple people might be.
Yes, a couple of people. For any of you guys who don't know, again, it's similar to Link to the Past randomizer. They're going to take all the items in the game and swap them, mix them around. What would you, if it were to be shown at a GDQ or somewhere in the future, what do you think is a format that would work for that?
It's really tough right now because it's so fresh.
It's so very early. Yeah.
I think we're still in a phase where we're trying to feel out, because the casual type of run-throughs are still taking a long time. It's 5-6 hours sometimes to find the items. The no major glitch seems like that's a decent compromise. I might try and lean towards something like that, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out the next couple of months. What ends up being really the popular category, the go-to category there, but I'm excited to see more of it for sure.
Gonna love seeing how it blooms. All right, just a couple of rapid fire. I'm gonna get you to go through these quickly. From T-Mac Brusquito, are there any in-game actions that you hope will not show up on your bingo card later today?
There are definitely a couple squares that I typically avoid if it shows up. 4 Lon Lon Skulls is one that's there. It doesn't sound hard, but there's some really crazy tricks to actually pull it off quickly. Squares that have like high risk, very low reward, you don't really gain a lot of time from doing it. So a square like that I tend to avoid. The cool thing about bingo is if you see a couple of those, you can kind of just ditch that rope, try and pick something else.
From Boney IRL, apart from Ocarina of Time, what is your favorite Zelda game? I'm going to extend that into, is there ever another one outside of Ocarina of Time? I know you've also messed with Majora's Mask that you ever have thought, I kind of would like to try that as a speed run.
I've definitely done Majora's Mask would be number 2, but if I had to go beyond that, I really liked Link's Awakening growing up, playing the Game Boy game. So that would probably be the number 3 on my list.
Great choice. And one final question here from Obil J. Is there any particular glitch, skip, or strat that doesn't exist yet that you hope someday will be discovered? What is there left to be discovered?
Yeah, it seems like Ocarina of Time. I mean, we've had new clips that have been found in the past couple of weeks, so it does feel like it's an ongoing thing, but one thing that's definitely kind of been not found yet is being able to, when you go adult, you can't go back in time until you beat the Forest Temple,
Yes.
step in the blue light. If we could somehow get past Sheik and drop the Master Sword back, be able to go back in time freely, that seems like that's been years, and it's not really been something that's been researched or looked into that much. So.
Well, Runner Guy, it is a joy to have you, my man. Definitely looking forward to the first ever showcase of bingo, period, at a GDQ. Hopefully this leads to even more bingos in other games as well, and more showcases of bingo for you guys in your specific game. So with that, guys, we're going to be heading up to the front for Undertale very soon, but I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about prizes.
Hey, Spike.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. You want to take this interview to Groby's? They got great fortune cookies.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Ooh. Can I crack it open?
Oh, yeah, by all means. Guys, we got some great Undertale prizes coming up for you guys that I had to come over here and show off real quick. From our good friend Nicholas Franklin, we have these lovely Undertale perlers with stands here. You know, we got Sans, we got Frisk, the main character. Come with these lovely little magnetic stands. You can hold them up, they'll stand up on your own. I love these things. We've been using them all over the set just because they're so convenient. They're great. Beautiful little perlers as well.
Adorable.
For sure. From our friend Radulon, we have a set of 6 little crocheted underbuddies here. You know, you got Undyne, you got Metaton. Here, Spike, help me hold them.
Say, they're so cute, I want to hold them myself.
Yeah, no, you got Papyrus.
Oh yeah, stack them up.
Alphys, and of course Frisk. There you go. That whole thing is a set, and that is a $15 donation from now until the finale. Guys, all the prizes we're showing from now on in the marathon go all the way to the finale, so make sure to get those donations in, help us reach that goal.
Also want to remind you guys as we're going through the prizes that I believe we are still trying to meet that all yellow credits goal for Undertale. Y'all need to meet it by the end of this interview. So if you need to drop some cash, go for it right now.
Yeah, that goal I think is still about $7,000 off. So I mean, we're
if
going
you
to
have 7, oh, we got Matt.
All right, apparently it got
all right.
really good.
See,
all right. Well, that was fast.
That was literally. That was met in the 3 seconds we said. All we had to say was meet it. Some dude was like 7K, bam. All right.
Done.
It's great having this natural ability.
So speaking of that, we need about $100,000 for our good friend Super Mario Odyssey. If anyone wants to just magically make that happen in the next 3 seconds, that'd be great. So our friends Toby Fox and Fangamer, we have all of the Undertale plushies. We got Sans here. We got Temmie in shop form.
I'm being covered in prizes.
We got everyone's favorite goat.
Oh, God.
We got another Temmie because you can never have too many Temmies.
Oh, my God, they're adorable.
We got Papyrus, who fell off the chair that I'm holding the prizes on. That's just like Papyrus. And you know what? We're not even done because we have a lesser dog.
Oh, it's a dog.
Everybody loves Lesser Dog. Shout out to Lesser Dog. Guys, we have some amazing other prizes too. We have this beautiful Great Grey Wolf Sith art print here. This is a digital print, but the artist has actually decided to do something really interesting. And after he printed this off and mailed it to us, confirmed it arrived, he actually destroyed the original high DPI image. So this is the only copy of this in existence. It's pretty neat, definitely super cool. Spike, I'm just gonna have you hold that as well. You're gonna hold everything for me. It'll be great.
No, you're seeing less of me. This is getting higher quality.
Oh, we also have a wonderful SGDQ2018 banner from our great friend and in-house artist, LOK. Guys, these banners are one of a kind. We print them out for the event once, and then that's that. It's basically just a piece of GDQ history. That's a $50 donation from now until the finale. Make sure to get your donations in for that. From So Much to Sew, we have this absolutely beautiful Mario quilt that I am holding both sideways and backwards. One day I'll figure out directions, it'll be amazing. But seriously, this quilt is beautiful. It is a $15 minimum donation. You want it, it's super warm. In fact, I'm just gonna put it over me. It's pretty great. And of course, guys, last but not least, how could I forget, from our good friend Jace Thor, we have another amazing statue here, if we can just pan down to it. I mean, look at Sans in all his majesty. Sans actually stands by himself completely freely. He has an amazing amount of detail in his collar, in his jacket, even in his shoes and sandals. Like, this Sans statue is great. I mean, the eye there even. And of course, he comes with this wonderful little stand backdrop that reminds you of a fight you really don't want to relive. We have So many prizes for you guys for this last block of the marathon. You're definitely going to want to head over to gamesdonequick.com and check out the tracker because it's going to have all the information on incentives and prizes and upcoming stuff you need to know. Now, I think Spike and I, we're going to head to Groby's, but the rest of you, you guys need to stick around and watch the Undertale run. Get your donations in for the Super Mario Maker incentive. Get your donations in for Odyssey, because you know what? If you don't, you're going to have a bad time.
And thank you so much to our interviewers, Spike, Sent, and our runner.
Yo, great job, bud.
Runner
That was
guy.
fun.
So with that, we're actually going to be restarting the stream here. We have reached our 48-hour mark, so we must restart, and then we will get underway with Undertale. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2018. Again, my name is Sakura, and we're going to be taking just a quick Twitch ad break, and we will be back right away. All right, everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for waiting, and we are back with Undertale. We're going to be throwing it over to Snowy Y 101.